AJ Mornings.
Chaz and AJ in the morning, 99.1 PLR. Anthony Parent is here. He is the anti-IRS attorney.
All right.
The anti-IRS anti-attorney. Anti-IRS.
Right.
You hate the IRS.
I absolutely hate the IRS. Now, one thing I want to get clear is I actually don't hate IRS employees. Right. I actually understand them. I work with them. I think they like me. I like them. And over the years, these are the people who have given me some of the best tips. So I want to make that clear. I absolutely don't hate them. I don't think I'd be really
effective.
I don't hate the people.
Organization.
Right. Yeah.
Now, wouldn't the people and their conduct make the organization a horrible entity?
Somebody has to do the job. So the job is nasty. No matter who's doing it, it's not going to be pretty.
Right. So let's say this then. Some of the stories that we're about to hear involve agents that really went above and beyond evilness, right? Like they didn't have to be this bad. Yes,
no, this is them doing their job.
Really?
This is actually them just following their procedures, their guidelines. This is them doing exactly what they're told to do and where they would get into trouble if they didn't do this.
So these stories that we're about to hear, none of them... there's no discretion. They can't say, like, all right, I can see that, and I'm going to recommend that we play nice with you.
Then, and where they've used their discretion, but they really, like, their idea of helping out isn't really helping you out too much, where they say, okay, we'll cut you a little bit of a break here.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this one where this Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, this is something else. So this is a case that came to me in 2009, in December of 2009. The case just ended in April. In August, last August. So it's been open for a while.
2009?
2009. So here's a woman, Holocaust survivor. I met her. She's great. Her kids are great. And what happened was that she inherited a bank account overseas, and it was from her uncle, who was also a Holocaust survivor. The money just sat there, and over the years she might have taken out $20,000 from it, but the money would just sit there.
Was it a lot of money?
That's a decent amount. It was about $500,000, so not too shabby.
I'd take that.
Yeah, right. Not too shabby.
Just hear Pam cough up something.
Yeah, my insides.
So she had this, and then one day she learned, oh, my God, I have a huge problem. Actually, her son did. Her son learned, wait a second, we haven't been reporting this. We haven't been paying interest on it. And so what she was subject to was a 50% penalty on that $500,000.
For what?
Because she didn't file a form. Ow. You didn't file the form, don't you know?
So they get half.
So wait,
the money's sitting in Germany. Why would you have to file? Why would you have to claim that?
I just moved there.
In the United States.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Well, what most people don't know is that we have something. We tax people like no one else in the world does. We tax you no matter where you make money, no matter when you make money. We tax you. We have the most complicated tax system in the world. Everyone else in the world, all the other countries, they don't do this, and they're not as difficult to understand.
Right. It's just a percentage of what you make in other countries, right?
Yeah, and they'll be there to help you out, too, to say, oh, here, just do this. It's not a big deal. It's very quick. There's not really the tax attorneys in these other countries that have to do what we have to do. Right. We can look at any other country's tax system and understand that quicker than our own.
So this woman, $500,000 in Germany.
Yep.
Doesn't file it. And now the IRS says we're taking half of it.
So they want to impose a 50% penalty. So we fight tooth and nail, and we got them over years. It took us the first penalty, we got them down to about $10,000. But I still was like, this is still outrageous. There should be no penalty.
You got them from $500,000 to $10,000?
$250,000 to $10,000. But
yeah, you're right. 250 half.
Yep.
250 to 10. That's a big jump down.
But still kind of crappy for something that had barely any interest, barely any income.
Attitude. And then I would have been like, take the deal.
Take the deal.
Right, but don't forget, she had to hire me too. And I'm not exactly free.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah.
Okay.
It's like...
So she's already into this.
Yeah, so she's already into it.
Yeah.
And so we got it in appeal down to $250. And, here I am talking with the appeals officer. So at what point do you just sort of say, wait a second, this is completely ridiculous. This law, the law that she was accused of or could have been found in violating, was the Bank Secrecy Act of 1970, which was supposed to take down big-time drug dealers and international human traffickers, things like this. And here you're going after a Holocaust survivor who forgot about a little account she really doesn't do anything with.
Right.
And you really
little account.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, we're cutting you a huge break, $2,500. And I was like, this shouldn't be anything. This is ridiculous. The fact that this is here is ridiculous. And I wanted to continue to fight. My client's just like, that's it. We're done. And by the way, our client she passed away last year too. Right. So kind of.
She was able to see this to the end.
She knew it was.
She never spent the money? No.
So luckily, most of it went to her kids. So luckily, but we had to fight. And her kids had to be patient for 6 years.
What's crazy about this is that the government wanted to take half of this woman's money.
Yeah. Right.
Because she didn't file something.
A form.
A form.
Like
half.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
That's what we're dealing with.
Wow. But see, now the people could have negotiated this down faster with you, right? Don't you think the agents could have done a better job or no?
Absolutely. But you have to understand that a lot of this is new to the IRS. And the case, we're following the case went dead for a year and a half. And it went to
what does that mean?
It went to missing files at IRS. No one had it.
Can't find it.
And the IRS was trying to figure out how to deal with all these cases too. They're trying to come up with policies. So this entire long time, we couldn't even find where the case was. It's just sort of sitting there in limbo. And that's the part of it that really bothers me is that my client here was really patient during all this. I don't know how much of us would have been patient for a 6-year process of trying to get this down.
She's a Holocaust survivor, so after having that perspective, having the IRS come after you is not that frightening, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's what it takes, though.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have survived the Holocaust to think that something in exchange with the IRS isn't that bad.
Unfortunately,
Sad.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Anthony Parent is here. He hates the IRS, not the people.
Not the people.
The organization, the rules.
People.
And, we got some more stories that are just going to make your eyes roll into the back of your head. Jeff, the chef.
Good morning.
Hey.
How you doing?
What's your question, brother?
Quick question. It's only $400 I owe for Connecticut State, but what's the cutoff date, and can I get an extension?
The cutoff date for what?
For an extension?
The cutoff date where I have to owe them.
Okay, you're going to owe taxes on April 18th no matter what. That's the date you owe the taxes. You file your extension to extend the due date to file your return. So if you get your extension in time, you won't have a penalty for failure to file late. If you pay on time by April 18th, you won't have a failure to pay. You won't have a late filing or late paying penalty. So sort of estimate what you're going to owe when you file your extension, and then you won't have any penalties.
It sounds like you already know what you're going to owe, so you must have done your taxes, no?
Yeah, I already did my taxes, and it says I owe just $389. And is there an extension I can get, or do I have to pay that up front?
Yeah, an extension won't do you any good. You owe that money now, so just pay it. It's not there's not an extension you can file to get yourself more time to file. So I would just bite the bullet and get rid of it if you can.
No, boy, I think what he's doing is he already did his taxes, but he's filing an extension to do his taxes. In other words, to kind of put it off.
This is a common thing. Most people think that you can file an extension and also delay.
Off.
Yeah. And it's like, they don't
want
know
their money now.
Right.
So when you file an extension, you have to say, I think I'm going to owe you this, and then you have to pay it.
That's right.
But it's better. So he's in this situation, and this happens to a lot of people.
Yep.
They owe money, don't have the money, but then they don't file, which is worse, right? So what you want to do is you want to file, owe them money. It's better to owe them money than to not file, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It's counterintuitive. Most of us would say, I'll just avoid them for as long as I can.
Right.
But always filing quick, it will help you out down the road. And, yeah.
All right, we got some more stories that are going to just
you bet.
Make you shiver with, just monsters over there at the IRS. Anthony Parent's in studio.
Chaz, AJ, mornings. Chaz, AJ, mornings.
Anthony Parent is here. He's the anti-IRS attorney. Likes the people, not the organization.
Right.
Mike from Bristol's on the show. Hey, Mike, what's your question?
I drive for Uber. What can I claim that they say I can't?
Anything related to your trade or business. This is an issue where you're going to want to really keep track of what you're actually doing. The number one reason why people lose the deductibility of what they do isn't necessarily what they're claiming, is the fact that they don't have substantiation. So anything related to it, you
keep
create
all your receipts.
And it's keeping a diary. And this is the hardest thing to do. is to keep the diary and have the discipline to do it. If you come in with if you're ever challenged on an audit and you come in with something highly organized with a complete theory behind it, they're going to accept it because there's easier cases to go after. So I would say anything you think is related to your trade here that is related.
So
even
mileage, right?
Mileage, but let's think about
Gas,
other things too.
Repairs,
but
tires.
Obviously we needed internet, right? We need internet access in order to work for Uber.
This is true.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to scout out areas to know sort of general things. So maybe even a drive that you're taking that you don't have a passenger in you should deduct it. But if as long as you keep the diary,
in the area.
Right.
Yeah, like I need to know the area. So if you take that approach,
What about music for the car?
That's a good idea. Yes.
Well, I think 99 is free.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, always free.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's good.
Got us there.
Very good. I like that.
You're good, you.
Yeah.
What else do you spend money on that you're wondering if you could deduct or not?
My food, my car repairs,
How about the coffee?
gas.
How about the coffee drinks?
Yeah.
Stay awake.
coffee, cigarettes.
Right. Exactly.
So this is
All right. Cocaine.
I know I can't claim the women I pick up, but still.
No, you can't. No. Nobody can claim them either. They're claimless.
Eventually, they become a loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I should just write everything down. Even
right.
mileage,
Well, now this is the thing. Now the number one thing people always sort of go for is the food expense. They're always looking to write it off. The IRS is looking for that one. Don't even bother with it because it's really only 50% you're allowed to, even if you win, unless you're miles away from your base of operations. So that's one I just let it go because the thing is that you have to eat anyway. That's what the IRS looks at. It's like you have to eat anyway, so don't try to claim it's a business expense. Maybe if it's something, I had to eat here because Uber took me out of the way, then it's allowable. Then that would be allowable, so something like that. But that's typically the things that an examiner is going to look at.
What triggers an audit?
Right now, honestly, right now, most people aren't going to be audited who are listening. The IRS has changed their rules of who's audited. It's not like it was 10 years ago where basically anyone could be audited. Now they have like half the revenue agents. No one's coming in. So the IRS has to get more bang for their buck. So they're not going to go bother someone like a plumber. How much are we going to get out of that? Unless the guy, has tons of employees. They're not going to bother with that. Where they're going to go is, as I was talking before, the Holocaust survivor. Well, here's somebody, we could whack her with a $250,000 penalty just for missing a technical form. That's a pretty easy audit. There's a high return on our investment for our time.
Right.
So that's where they're changing it. Most people listening today, when I always read these articles about how to avoid an audit, all that content is so outdated. That's how it used to be years ago. It's not like that.
But you could be flagged by just having a big swing in 1 year, right?
You can. The IRS will never release their exact methodology for how they come. Otherwise, we would game it. So they never exactly. You sort of figure out there's certain things that will get attention. Sometimes if somebody whistle blows on you, an ex-spouse claiming, I think that might do it.
Or if you both claim a child, right?
There's a lot of automated systems. Most of the audits people think of are done automatically. Hey, you didn't report this 1099. We're going to increase your bill. Hey, somebody already claimed this child. That's done automatically, so it's not something where there's not really much to contest.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for checking in, brother. Good luck, man.
Thanks.
All right. A lot of calls coming in. We don't have enough time for all these calls. But why don't you just run us through a couple of tips here for folks
Okay.
getting ready?
I would say this. A lot of times at this time of the year, people call me to say, hey, how can I save some money on my taxes? This is not the time to be asking that question. The time is usually it's hard to do things retroactively. You have to plan.
Yeah.
You have to plan ahead, and because it's documentation that will prevail. A big tip I have is one of the almost overlooked ones, deductions is medical expenses. And it's very easy to get a doctor. A medical expense becomes deductible when it's recommended for some sort of treatment. You have to spend a certain amount a year in order to get the deduction, but if you do it right, it's kind of easy to hit. For instance, that if you have a bad back or something, you could probably get a doctor to write you a note for a jacuzzi. And those are quite nice, by the way.
Yeah.
They're very, very beautiful spas.
Yeah.
So something like that. And if you really think about it, what are you spending your money on? And a lot of people are spending money on medical costs. And that's really one of the reasons people are kept down, and they're not claiming their deductions properly. So that's my number one tip that could help out most people listening right now.
Well, we're going to link up to IRSMedic.com on Chaz and AJ in the morning.com. Thank you for coming in. We got to have you back.
Please.
Absolutely. How long has it been? Like 5 years, 5, 6 years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
You come back next year. Yeah, every year now.
Chaz, AJ, mornings.